Right, Mr. Power, how are we?
Very, very good.
How's life in Marbella treating you?
I love Marbella, man. Like, I genuinely love Marbella. Marbella is my favourite place on earth.
Home?
Yeah.
100%, yeah?
Yeah. I don't know what it is, man. It's just the nature when you wake up in the morning. It's just, when you're from Ireland, it's like your biggest goal in Ireland. Like, in Ireland, we look forward 50 weeks of the year to go to Spain. You know what I mean? That's just such a huge part of, like, the year in regards to it being in Ireland. You look forward to that year in Spain. So, like, being able to base myself here is a blessing that when my eyes open in the morning, I'm like, fuck, I'm in Spain. Like, it's just unbelievable. So I love Marbella because Spain obviously has it's the holiday location for, like, huge population.
I kind of say, what I say to people as well is kind of like, Marbella is kind of similar, where I'm from anyway, I don't know about Cork, like, but where I'm from, it's kind of small little towns around the place with beaches and stuff like that. Marbella is just kind of like that, but with just sun.
Yeah.
And a good vibe the whole time.
That's it.
When Ireland's fucking sunny, man, it's the spot to be. Like, you can't beat it. So it's like Marbella, Spain in general is kind of like that. And when I first landed, I was like, holy fuck, I like this.
Yeah. That's it. When I drove into Marbella for the very first time, I drove around the roundabout with Voodoo.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is home.
Yeah.
I swear to God, it was crazy. It was actually it was a mad feeling. And the next day I was like, yeah, this is fucking
place for me. So when did you actually move to Marbella?
I came to Marbella in July 2021.
Okay.
No, sorry, 2020.
2020, I think you've been here a year when I landed as well.
Yeah, I'm here 3 years on and off.
Yeah.
Dubai for 6 months and stuff like that.
Yeah. And so I suppose the difference between Marbella and Dubai, what do we think?
I suppose different times of the year. Like, Dubai is going to be better in regards to the winter months.
For sure.
Marbella will be better in the summer months. So, very kind of different. Like, for me, the first year I was like, I was a little bit of distractions. But, like, for me, like, no one even asks me to go out anymore.
Yeah, they know not to.
Adam's not going to come out. You know,
don't even ask.
I'm never in beach clubs. So I don't have any distractions.
Yeah.
In Dubai, I haven't even been to a beach club in Dubai.
Yeah.
So there's no distractions for me, whereas it's just like I can work and I can go for a walk, and like just going for a walk and grabbing that little bit of inspiration or picking up a little bit of, like, some sort of feeling that inspires you or, like, recharges you. Then when you go back to work, you bring that and that does it for me. That's why I love these locations.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Maybe London kind of does a little bit too. So the difference between the both is it's just kind of like Dubai is more, I suppose, like, city
and more in your face or something, isn't it? There's kind of constantly go.
Yeah, Dubai's more go. Whereas there's no nature, like, there's no nature in Dubai, and that's something like, I didn't really think I would massively.
Yeah.
But in my place now, where I'm actually in Cancelada now. When I walk out my back door and go down to the beach, I'm walking through nature, man. It's
game changer, man. It helps recharge and stuff.
I walked there, I was just saying to Tony there before he left, I went for a swim in the sea earlier, and I was like, this is what it's about. You just feel recharged.
Because even, man, when you go to the sea in Dubai, it's kind of like, you're there. You go. Remember, we went for a swim one day. Actually, it was kind of like, it was nice, but it was like it didn't feel right.
Yeah.
Whereas you go into the sea here, or you're going back home, it's like, fuck, it wakes you up, and it's like it gives you energy nearly away. So I think for me personally, anyway, I miss the nature massively when I'm in Dubai. I think 3 months in Dubai, you need a break. You need to get fucking out somewhere just to recharge, get back and go again.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that you say that, like, someone else could potentially go to Dubai or Marbella and they mightn't even be able to fucking work because there's so much distractions. It's kind of what your mindset is going into it. Essentially, isn't it?
It's your discipline as well.
Yeah, for sure.
I see so many people come here
and just get wrecked.
I'm like, you can't. So I can just see it from afar, and I'm just going to distance myself a little bit then. But, like, you have to, like, it's just not even that fun. Like, you go to a beach club once, okay,
same shit,
bang, it's fun. You have one good day out, but you don't need to do it again next week and the week after. And you'll be doing it on Tuesdays. And
people are doing it midweek as well. It's kind of it's nearly their hobby essentially, isn't it? It's them, just that's what they do. But again, each their own, I suppose.
Yeah.
But you're looking good. You're looking very, very good.
Thank you, bro.
You're looking sharp, because I remember, I think I was last year. No, when I first met you, when I first came to Marbella, like, you were quite slick and stuff. But I remember I came back last year and you put on a lot of weight, to be fair, and you seem a little bit off, or you just didn't seem as upbeat and sharp as you are now, my man. Something kind of changed within that time, or?
Yeah, I was just in a rut. Like, I was just in a very, very bad place mentally. Yeah. Like, I was in a house I should not have been living in. I was in an unhappy place in my life. I was just very, very unhappy. I was just off. My energy was off, and I couldn't figure out. I suppose I was brushing under the carpet for like a couple of months.
Yeah.
And then one time it hit me and I was like, holy fuck, like I'm not right here. Like I'm really not right.
And was there like a specific moment that happened? Or?
Yeah, so like there was a specific, I kind of had this excuse for a little bit, and it was actually someone taught me, like, have your life in seasons, like business seasons, fitness seasons, family seasons, like have different seasons. So I kind of took the work, I suppose, like, because I was not right mentally, I was just indulging myself in the laptop. I was like, that was just like I was just like in there emotionless for kind of like a huge part of the day, and then I was just kind of getting through the day in the emotions. Whereas when I was actually when I actually, you know, lifted myself out and actually looked and I finished that business season, I kept telling myself I was in a business season, but it was an excuse to get through another day, I suppose. And then one day I was actually going to bed at like, I don't know, midnight or whatever. And I just walked past, I was turning off all the lights in the house. I walked past the mirror, I looked at myself, and I was like, who the fuck is that guy in the mirror? And I was like, I don't even know who that is. I looked at myself in the mirror, I was like, that is not me. That is not me at all.
You put on quite a bit of weight, hadn't you?
Bro, I was 99.5 kilos. Right now I'm 81.
Yeah, and you're sharp now.
That's 18 kilos. Imagine walking around with an 18 kilo dumbbell all day long. I was totally off, totally wrong. Like I couldn't get out of bed, I couldn't sleep, my emotions were all off. And when I looked at myself in the mirror, I just did not look okay.
Yeah.
And next morning I woke up, went to the doctor, and he plugged me into his fucking, he done a full body test.
Yeah.
Everything was fine. He was just like, you're not looking after yourself. And he was like, so you're not, he was like, I can tell you're not eating proper foods. He was like, you're not getting sunlight, you're not walking, you're not training, you're not drinking enough water. And I was like, everything you just said is correct. And he was like, so last year I was 25, and he plugged me into the system. And he goes, right now, after doing a full body checkup on you, my computer is telling me that you're 36. Well, so I was 11 years old. Wow. So I was terrified. Yeah. I was like this, and the doctor's shaking. So he brought me over, and he actually put me on a drip, like just a vitamin reflush. And he was like, oh, for the next 3 weeks, no meat or animal proteins. It's just vegan. Reset your digestive system. No more caffeine, no more coffee. So I was drinking like 3 fucking cappuccinos a day, like, do you know what I mean? Just like dairy.
Just mindlessly consuming food without actually being conscious of it. Yeah.
And whenever I was tired, I just have another one. Yeah. It was just in a very, very bad place, man. And then basically he was telling me this, so that shook the fuck out of me. I was
wake up,
sleep. Couldn't sleep. I was freaked. I was like, my health is number one thing. So just like that, when he told me that, right, and he was kind of like, he was probably trying to put a little bit of fear into me so I could change. When he was putting the fear into me a little bit, it worked, and he could see I was being fucked, and I was freaking over my health. I was like, I just hated myself. I was like, how could I let my health
go to this?
How could I let my health not be number one priority? Because you know me, the year before when we were out this summer, I was perfect. Yeah, I had abs, I was training, the whole lot. So, anyway, that when he done that really. So the next morning, I woke up and I just ran. I just walked outside the door and I just started running. And I ran to the club. I ran to Club Padel. I was eating vegan food for 3 weeks, and I was weighing myself every day. And I have a note on my phone. I think it was like the 21st of August last year, and it says like, today is the day I change. I fucking cop on it, and I wrote it, and I was just fucking went from there. So then I caught myself out, and 3 months later I was back to myself. I was tracking my weight every day for 3 months, and it was like 99, 98.4. in 98.1, and I literally lost like 15 kilos in like 4 months.
I remember, it's funny actually, remember when you moved to Dubai, then we were at Nando's having food.
JJ.
A few of the boys that we'd met, because we met one night out in Pangaea or whatever, and that was obviously when I'd seen you that time, and you just obviously put on weight and stuff, but a few of the boys, they were like, obviously met you for the first time, and then you moved to Dubai. We went for Nando's, a few of us, and didn't even recognise you. I had to tell him afterwards that I think he sent you a voice, and I'm so sorry, I didn't know it was you. It's crazy though. But
if you lose like 99.9 kilos to 81 kilos,
it's a big fucking change.
18 point something kilos. So he was probably like, I'd reckon, and there's a saying that really hit me from that, right? If you throw a frog into boiling water, the frog will jump in, get bored, and run away and never come back. But if you put a frog into cold water and heat it up 1 degree for 100 days, in 100 days the water will boil and he'll die. Yeah. So if you're in a bad environment, it might just be a tiny, tiny, tiny thing that you might not even know your routine is off, your whatever the case may be, and you just put it off. So
it's that kind of the compound effect, isn't it? You could be going either this way or you're going this way.
Yeah,
it's like your habits can be bringing you one way or another, and it's a small, slight little fucking thing that it might be, but it can change the course of your direction massively over space and time. Yeah,
exactly. So growing or dying.
Yeah, that's it.
No, nothing is resting.
You're never staying the same. You're either growing or dying for sure. Yeah, 100%.
Exactly.
And so in terms of like when obviously, in terms of like your environment and your network and stuff now, like do you feel like that it's since you maybe moved away from Ireland and stuff like that, since you came to Marbella to Dubai, do you feel like that has helped you kind of level yourself up essentially?
Yeah, absolutely. Like obviously I always say like 1 step back, like 5 steps forward. Like that's how life works. So yeah, 100%. I mean, like I kind of like I suppose like I now know what I want.
Yeah.
I know what I don't want in life as a whole, in all areas. So for example, like I will now know if something's not aligned with me, I'll be able to feel it and pick it up a lot quicker rather than
go with it
and then a month later haven't realised that. So now I can kind of pick up that in all areas.
Yeah.
Clients, work, and bad investment, a fucking someone, a staff member, everything, anything. So yeah, I learned a lot of lessons from that rough patch.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it is very, very important like that. You go through those rough patches, but you always come out the other side. Well, you'll always hopefully come out the other side a much better person, and you learn from those experiences, and it'll massively benefit you further moving forward. Then essentially,
yeah. For me, I'm happy it happened, man. I'm happy I had a shit part of my life.
You need to go through those parts of your life for sure.
Now I love life, man. Now I'm fucking closer to God, man. I pray every day of the week. I'm fucking happy. I have a better relationship with my family, my mother, everybody. I appreciate life so much. Like when you go to the doctor and he's like, you're not healthy.
Yeah.
What does that mean I'm not healthy? Does that mean like
I'm gonna die?
Does that mean the worst case?
Yeah.
Like, and when like I was thinking like the first thing I thought of is I just flashed back of like my child, like just my childhood. So I'm like thinking like, man, all the times I had a laugh with my father as a kid, all the time. Like imagine if that was all you have is like imagine if it's the worst case scenario. And then I was like, when that hit me, I'm like, life is just different now. Like I just see
everything different.
Yeah.
Perspective, I suppose.
Yeah.
But isn't it
very different perspective? Yeah.
Well, I like the way I look at things as well. Is like at the end of your life, it's like what you're going to look back and it's going to be more so. It's not about the things you have, but it's more so about like the experiences you have and create those experiences, making sure that you are, I suppose, doing things you enjoy and in a good, not a good routine, but a good headspace, essentially.
Yeah. Exactly. Like you think back of all the fucking. You don't think back of like
sitting in front of the laptop maybe when you were probably just kind of going spinning the wheels and not actually appreciating life. But obviously you did grow a business at that, like, or you grew a business to a very, very good position right now. But it's like making sure you step away from that, actually have an overview of where you're at, what you're doing, and then obviously the help was a big thing for you that kind of give you that kick, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And sure. That's kind of like like I'm happy it happened, man. These things have to happen. I remember the story of Kevin Hart in a car crash when he was just doing way too much stuff. Like, he was just doing way too much stuff, and he was in a car crash, and he was like, God crashed my car to bring me back down to earth to realize I'm not Iron Man. I'm not, you can't do everything. Do you know what I mean? Things
happen for a reason. It happens for a reason. You take lessons from it and then implement it. Yeah, sure. In terms of like God and stuff like that, I suppose, as you just touched on, what like is it? Would you consider yourself very religious now? What made you kind of find God, I suppose, was it?
So I've always been religious.
Yeah.
I've always been religious. Like I was raised by, kind of partially raised by my grandmother on both sides actually, but more for my grandmother's last 12 years of her life, she moved in with my father. So my father and his wife and me and my sister lived in that house, and then my grandmother, that was my father's childhood home. So my father bought that from my grandmother, and she moved back in because she didn't want to live on her own, so she moved back in, right? So she kind of lived with us for like the last 12 years of life. So I was unemployed for years. I was just in and out of jobs and stuff like that. Yeah. So when everyone else was at work, and I never went to school. Like I never went to school. So I would just be like watching fucking like Jerry Springer or Jerry with my grandmother, having a fucking. She'd be like, oh, let's go down and fucking go to the butcher's. She'd go down and cook me like stuff like that. So I'd be like, just with my grandmother all day. She always taught me lessons. Okay, Adam, did you pray today?
Okay.
No. Okay, Adam, come on. You say a prayer to God. If there's a problem, Adam, let God handle that. Like, Adam, like God has a way. Like, it was very religious. It was a motherly religious way of educating me. It was very much wisdom based stuff that I never actually knew or kind of incorporated until my grandmother passed away, which was like 2017. So after that, then I kind of really took on her the beliefs that she kind of instilled in me over the years, and it was all kind of very religious based. And my grandmother would, go to church twice a day.
Yeah.
She'd be down church at noon, at midday, and she'd be there kind of 6 or 7 p.m. again. And it'd be always lessons brought back. You know what I mean? So it'd be always lessons to me brought back, and it was always
from each time she went away.
Yeah, each time she'd come back, or each time just in conversation.
Yeah.
He would just be like, he would always be referred to God. I'd be like, you just complain about a job or whatever, Adam, let God handle that. Put that in God's hands. Do you know what I mean? And I was always like that. So then my grandmother used to she was like, you have to go to confession. And I never would go to confession. So she would say, you have to go to confession. And I would say, I don't want to go to confession. So she would say, if you don't go to confession for a period of time, there's a black mark on your soul, right? Yeah. So I'd say I would confess. So instead of going to confession, I had my own relationship with God. Forgive me for my sins. And that's always been something, since I'm literally 10 years of age, I'm always have that relationship with higher power, God, whatever.
The universal sense.
Yeah, whatever people call it, different things, but faith as a whole. So I'd always
I think that's very powerful, yeah, for sure. Just and even, I suppose, not being like, I have to go to confession, you have to go to confession, but just actually creating your own relationship with whatever the higher power that you associate it with is, we'll say. Yeah. Having that, and kind of, as you said, like, but the energy you put into the world, it comes back to you, essentially, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
And I suppose with Bob Proctor, the guy that you put me onto was fucking the man. He's helped me out massively. I know you like to talk about Bob, but he's very much so like that as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
Faith and...
Yeah, I suppose Bob was kind of like a grandfather to me when you think about it. Yeah. It sounds mad, right? It sounds fucking, it's mad, but like, I feel like that he just, when he talks to me, it's just, I don't know what it is. I actually don't know what. Did he just come at the perfect time in my life? I don't know. What he says it just comes into my mind, and it just flips my whole entire existence to date upside down, and I see the world totally different. And when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Yeah. So my perceptions is different, and now the world is different for me from what he says. So literally, he's taught me lessons that I needed at the exact moment of life, I suppose, and that's why I connect with him so much. And it's like, there's been so many times where I was just like, I'm fucked in life. Like, it's like, no, it's what I just put all my faith into Bob's teachings, and then like eventually it just works out. It works. So there's been times in my life I had no hope. Bob Proctor. You know what I mean?
He even says it himself. It's like, you need to be open to receiving the things, and the things will come to you at the right time to guide you. Just have that faith, and obviously have the belief in it, and then they will come to you at the right time and help you out. Whereas, as you said, you had nothing else.
I had nothing else.
Your faith, essentially.
I had to say, like, again, like what I always say is like, a car can drive across the world with just 9 feet of a light, because the next 9 feet keeps open, and you can drive 10,000 miles in a car during the night time with just that 9 feet of light keep open. And that's what Bob says, like, you just keep
moving into the direction you want.
Yeah, and you get to the destination, and that's what happened.
Yeah, that's powerful. I suppose a lot of the time, even we've spoke about it before as well, it's like sometimes you can just overanalyze things. Yeah. Let's say you have an idea in your head. There's two people. One person is like maybe even smarter than this person, but he overanalyzes everything and he doesn't actually act on it. Yeah. Whereas this guy might be a little bit dumb and he just acts on it, and then he gets to the destination. Yeah. Whereas it's just about kind of making sure you move.
Just so you're aware that a white butterfly just flew by there and stopped for 5 seconds and just flew away. And a white butterfly is a sign of grandmother energy.
No way, yeah? That's wild, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Told you right.
Wow.
Well, yeah, what you said, some people can be too smart. Some people can be too smart, and they'll think something through so much that they just won't do it.
Don't even act.
Whereas me, or you, like, we're kind of like somewhat in the middle, where we don't overanalyze, but we also back ourselves enough to kind of, I can get this done, or I am smart enough to get this done, or whatever the case may be.
Like, even with this, like, for me, I suppose for me, I kind of got to a position where it's like, obviously with my coaching and stuff, you have to take that initial leap. Yeah. You get to a place you can be a little bit comfortable as well. It's like, okay, I've done this. I needed something. I felt like I needed something else to actually get a little bit uncomfortable again with. I felt like I got too comfortable, and even with this, even when I came back from, I had a coffee and I was walking up the hill and I was like, fuck, what if I fuck this podcast up? Like, what if the conversation's stupid?
Yeah.
What if I just messed the whole fucking thing up? And it was like, I said, shut the fuck up and just do it.
Yeah.
Literally, as I was walking up the hill, I was like, shut the fuck up and do it. If it's shit, it's shit. Who gives a fuck? Go in with the mindset that it's going to be good, and it will be good.
It will be good, yeah.
It's just, you're always going to have, I suppose, those voices in your head, but it's just kind of just literally telling them to shut up and do it.
Yeah. For the people watching, you have that thing to say. You have that, like, that's kind of like something that you've been still as yourself. Yeah, but you got all the books you read. I know you picked up that along the way.
For sure.
Same with me. People have to get that. Like, if you want to be if you want to play professional sport, or if you want to become a boxer, an athlete, anything in the world, if you want to start a business, whatever, you have to get that tool in your head to say, it might not be great, but I'm going to fucking do it anyway. And I'm going to get better and better and better. Like, the first time fucking Michael Jordan picked up a basketball, he wasn't Michael Jordan. And like, it's repetition.
But even for myself as well, I always remember, like, I just always had something in me that I was like, I wanted to improve. I wanted to be like, I remember in my room, and I don't even know what book it was, but it was like a self-help book. I always wanted to improve, but I was like, I'd read this book and I was dyslexic as fuck, man. I couldn't understand a thing out of it, so I couldn't but it was always in me. But it's like, even just those times picking up that book and trying and then trying again and then trying again, it was like, I could have easily just said, I don't understand that. Whereas it's like, no, I just keep going back to it, going back to it, and eventually things starts to click. And even if you pick up a couple of lines off the book, that just kind of starts to instill into you, and I suppose it helps you out in terms of fucking building that mindset, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like you have something in you that you know has to come out. That's like, again, a lesson from Bob. That's unfulfilled potential. That thing inside of you is unfulfilled, and like it has to come out. So when something comes out, it's being expressed. What's the opposite of expression? Depression. Disease. It's dis-ease. It says to break it down. Dis-ease. After depression, your body's is in lack of ease. So it's dis-ease, disease, and then disease turns to decay, which is
depression, anxiety.
Which is that's a shit lesson. But like, it's important that if you express, when you express what you have, this the polar opposite of depress. Express what you have. People are just not expressing what they have in them. Like, you like, if you're good at something, or if you feel I could be good at that, you know
within you. It's within you.
It's there.
Let it out.
If you're not bringing it out,
what's going to happen? You're going to feel unfulfilled.
When you feel unfulfilled, you're going to depress your potential. You've depressed potential, and that's when you fucking. I had that in school, and that's when the teacher turns around. I fucking whack something at the board, and then the whole class laughs, and that's me.
That's expressing yourself.
That's expressing something different. Yeah. But like, it's there. So the people who have that, firstly understand you have it, and then figure out how to bring it out. Bring it out into an avenue, whether that's business, sport, teaching, whether it's being a fucking amazing mother, like whatever, charity work. Like, I'm launching a charity next month. Like, it's whatever you have, bring that fucking
to the table,
bring that out, man. And then it's the polar opposite of, and that's the thing that fucking I hate to see, is like, someone wants a complete change in life. Like, the character they have in their life is not who they want to be, and then you as the weeks, the months turn into years, you're not going to be super happy, and then you're trying to figure out what was wrong. You could turn to antidepressants or something like that. That's just
sleeping tablets.
Sleeping tablets, like,
we're getting up
before you do that. Like, you know, that needs to be the last straw. Like, you need to tackle something. Like,
I think self-awareness is a big thing.
Yeah.
Like, that's massive. Sorry for cutting across, but I think self-awareness is being like, okay, this is how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Why am I feeling this? Because a lot of people don't even think, man.
Yeah, man.
Bob says people don't think.
Yeah.
If you actually look at people, they don't think. So it's like, okay, if you're feeling a certain way, it's like, okay, just reassess yourself. Just be like, why am I feeling this way? It's like, well, I actually want to be, start up. I want to be a musician because I'm a decent musician, but I'm just working in the bar each night.
Yeah.
So then it's like, okay, well then as we said, just kind of go with it.
Yeah.
And just go fucking with it.
And going back to when I said at the start, when I was depressed last year, when you saw me, you looked at me and you were like, what the fuck?
I just knew something was off, like the energy off you.
And everyone was like, I'm like, no, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Like, instead of me being like, I'm depressed, I have to get antidepressants. No, I sat there What's wrong with me? All on a piece of paper, okay? I don't even drink water. I wake up in the morning, have a fucking cappuccino or a fucking latte or something. I don't drink water. I'm going to the gym 1 day a week for the past 3 months. I'm eating takeaway 4 nights a week. I'm not getting sunlight in the morning. My sleep is shit. I'm not depressed. I'm just in a bad rut. I'm like, instead of me I was aware enough to say I need to fix all this and not go to imagine if I didn't think that one through and counterproductively make a plan for me to go to the doctor. Okay, triple check, everything is fine. I just need to cut myself on.
Yeah.
Lose 18 kilos of weight over cutting my diet out, training, putting that a top priority. No, I'm fixed. Imagine if I took antidepressants then and I just numbed myself.
I
know
think,
what I mean?
yeah, no, for sure.
I think so many people do that, and I understand if you try all these other things and it doesn't work, and you need them. You have to look after yourself.
Of course,
you have to take them.
But do this first, essentially.
Yeah, just try this other thing first. Just be like, write out what makes you happy and unhappy. Are you healthy? Like, get a health check. Like, I wrote it on my iPad. Like, I made a actually lesson from Ty Lopez. A score out of 10 in all your areas of life. Okay, my routine. Is my routine good? No. Okay, 2 out of 10. And then I got an average of my routine, meditation, mindfulness, gratitude, family relationships, my relationship, my household, my business, my team, my staff, the 5 people who I spend the most time with. I put all that scored out of 10 on my iPad, and the average was like 3.
Yes.
Or maybe 4 or something. So like all that stuff together, out of that 4, I was just, of course I'm unhappy. So I have to now make a plan to raise all them, get my average. If I'd done it now, it'd probably be 8, 9, because I've, spent the last 12 months fixing all them. So people need to, that's my message to people is like, really, try improve the areas of your life that will really matter.
Lifestyle factors.
Yeah, like if you wake up in the morning, drink a litre of water, walk out into the sunlight, not even the sunlight if you're back, if it's not sunny, walk daylight. Try not to have too much caffeine. Try not to eat, don't drink cans of Coke all day. Like, eat vegetables and high quality whole foods. Drink water, have a break. If something's really stressing you, pull yourself back from a little bit and put faith into that it will happen.
Yeah.
And then you will start to feel so much better.
That's the thing, like, and I think a lot of the time what the issue is with people as well is like, they don't know that, like, they don't, like, and even sometimes when you see it with some people that are potentially going from just literally kind of living that life that you were living, you're just kind of getting up and you're nearly just going through the day, you're not being conscious about anything, you're not getting your water, your daylight.
Yeah.
Once they start actually doing that, they're like, holy fuck.
That's what Joe Rogan says. Joe Rogan is like, this is all I have to do?
That's it. It's like, and then once you're there, you never want to go back there. It's like a lot of people just don't take those steps to actually say, okay, my sleep is shit. I'm not, hydrating. I'm not eating nutritious food. It's like, why the fuck do you think you feel like shit? Like, that's why. It's like, but put yourself into that position. And then I think that for me is kind of like, once you're there, once you are ticking all those boxes, you're the mental clarity that you get, then every other area of your life starts to click into place.
That's it. That's a massive point, is mental clarity. For sure. Because when I was down and out, I couldn't find the clarity.
Yeah. Your head's a mess.
My head was fucking,
I couldn't victim mentality maybe in a way.
Maybe a little bit of that, but I just couldn't find the clarity.
Yeah.
So for me, the answer was right there in front of me.
Yeah.
Sort all these daily tasks out. And a lot of people, I think, don't have, it's hard. It's so hard to find. Like, when you are, feeling down, the last thing you want to do is go to the gym or do all these things. But you just have to dig deep down and pull yourself in. Like, you don't want to create motion until you have a little bit of motion. Like, if you just go for a walk, just say, I'm going to walk 500 steps. When you're at 4 or 5, when you're coming up to 5, you I can do a little more. You'll end up doing 3 or 4.
Yeah.
It's like, you'll actually want to do more. So it's like just getting that, just put all your time and effort, your mental energy into getting A to B. And when you're at B, you'll get to C, and then you get to D, and before you know it, you'll be way down.
Because I used to do a little thing with the with cardio as well. It's like, all right, I'll just do 10 minutes. You hit your 10 minutes. All right, fuck it, I'll go another 5 minutes. And then you end up racking out 30 minutes, no issues then. Which same as you were saying just earlier on, it's just like, you have to, people are like, oh, they need motivation to get going and stuff like that and stuff like that. And yes, don't get me wrong, that can give you that nudge, but it's like, it's actually just taking those steps and just stacking it on top of each other. Yeah. And before you know it, just starts, fucking snowballing essentially into where you want to be and stuff like that. Yeah. Once it's, as they say, that the first few steps are always the hardest. Yeah. Essentially, it's just building up that momentum. Yeah. But then once you get that momentum, don't let that stop, because it can easily fall back as well. So you need to keep that momentum going. Yeah. But it's like the first the way the compound effect, it was like they had do you know those like not a Ferris wheel, but those, you know, those like round jokes in the playground.
Yeah.
Like I don't even know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Hopefully people will understand. But basically it's like that first little bit at the start, it's like, holy fuck, it's full of people. You're pushing it. It's barely going anywhere.
Yeah.
Before you know it, it starts going like that, and then it just starts going on its own.
Yeah.
It just starts spinning.
Compound effect, yeah. But like that compound effect, that like, this is what breaks my heart. Like that compound effect, that should be taught in school when you're 12 or 13. You should, like, the lessons from the book, The Compound Effect, that should be in school. Like, there's another book, the exact same, called The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. Two of them books are massively similar, right? The Slight Edge is kind of the same compound effect. It's like, you have, like, unfortunately, which is a very sad thing, we have to go get this information ourselves.
Yeah.
And like, until YouTube came around or the internet came around, we didn't even know it was there. Like,
of course.
But now we have the blessing of finding it. So like, if you're watching this, you have to go get that. You have to go understand. Everyone should know the compound effect should be just an everyday lesson for everybody in life. But very few people actually know what it even is.
Heard about it.
Like. Yeah, because it's just not taught. So it just like, it's just
people need to, I suppose, like, and I suppose this is the big part of why I started this podcast is essentially to let people know about kind of things like this, to help them with their like self-development, getting fit. Maybe, you know, starting a business, whatever it might be, like interviewing people like yourself. I know that you are in a kind of position where a lot of people are going to be in a similar fucking position to that. They feel stuck in that rut. They don't feel happy in themselves, and they're just kind of going through their daily life. It's like, you need to, this information hopefully then will hit you, and it's like, okay, then you start getting moving, you start moving forward, you start looking up YouTube videos, you start reading books, because books are very, very powerful, and like podcasts and audio and stuff like that. And even how it's funny how I even like, it's funny now the fact that I'm actually sitting here doing a podcast, because how I essentially got into kind of like training and online coaching and stuff like that. It was like someone shared a podcast, then I started listening to his podcast. I educated myself, then I ended up doing an online course with that guy, you know, the Chris Spearman guy.
Oh yeah.
So I ended up doing, so it was actually him. So someone shared a podcast, some guy locally back home. You know, 400 or 500 people might have seen that, but I saw it, and then that actually changed the course of my fucking life. Then I done a course with him. I done a photo shoot with him. Then I started online coaching myself, and then now I'm here doing my own podcast. Like, it's fucking crazy. Like the butterfly effect, isn't it? Like, it's just why someone sharing that one thing changed completely the whole direction of my fucking life.
The butterfly effect.
The butterfly effect.
Thing that should be taught. That's it's mad, man.
Powerful.
Full circle right now for you. It's so powerful.
Nuts.
It's and that's what life should be. Everyone, like, life should be like that. Like, we should be taking lessons, giving lessons back. You know, it's that's the full circle of life. Like, you'll sleep better at night time knowing that, you know, you're doing some. Actually, a guy from Cork, you just rang a bell. There's a guy from Cork. It was Ryan Hearn. In my Discord group, our call last week, he just like wanted to say thank you. He came on and I was like, we're finishing off with a Q&A, and he came on to say, he's like, Adam, I don't have a question, but I just want to take you back. It's like his business is 4 years old right now. Mine is kind of just over 5. So he reached out to me when he was just kind of starting. So he was like, he signed his first ever client. I think he was doing like content or social media stuff like that. So he was actually like edit. I think it was a restaurant. He had to edit like a couple of clips. He signed the client. The client was ready to go, but he had no camera. So I jumped into my thing. I jumped into my father's car, went to the other side of the city, dropped him off a camera that I recently bought, and gave it to him. And then he used that camera for like 4 or 5 months until he signed a couple of clients to buy his own. Gave me back the camera, and now his business is 4 years old. And I'm thinking, I was like, on the call there last week, I was like, fucking, this is what it's all about.
Like,
exactly.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, and everyone should be doing that. Everyone, like, and I'll be rewarded 10 times. Just loads of people like that.
Sure, man. But even like, you know, another guy that we know as well, another Cork fella, Mike Fatboy Slim. But he was kind of then my first, I suppose, mentor nearly in coaching. He was a coach, but just, man, like, the information, like, I know for a fact, like I've said it before, like I would not be in this position without him, because he's massively helped me in terms of like, I could ask him a question that mightn't be to do with like my own coaching. I'd be like, my own fitness, but I'd be maybe like, I was starting up my coaching business at the time. Man, I remember getting a 20-minute voice note off him one day, just explaining shit to me, like, and that's why I'm in a position where it's like, if anyone ever asks me for information about coaching or anything like that, I will always go above and beyond to actually help them and just make sure that, you know, I've always done it. If people reach out to me, I'll happily give any advice possible to help you, because you want to see other people do well as well. Of course, it's important.
And you like, the abundance mindset is like, you will have an abundant life if you fucking put that out there. Like
Yeah.
you have to be able to say like, I'm going to help loads of people. That's going to, you're not even expecting it. You just know it's going to come back. You know that that's going to pave the way for you to because if you're an abundance mentality, you'll attract abundance. So like,
It'll open doors for you without you trying to open doors. Essentially.
yeah, exactly. Like you have to just give back and not expect anything in return.
Yeah, for sure. That's powerful though.
Yeah.
It's powerful. So where like obviously you're living in Dubai now, you're living in Marbella, but what kind of and you obviously have your marketing agency, but just give us a little bit of information. You have like kind of brands and stuff like that, correct?
Yeah.
And then I suppose so where you're at now, but where did you kind of, I'd be more interested to know, where did you kind of start off? Like what was life like in Cork? Kind of, what jobs did you work? And kind of, was there any kind of like specific moments that you were like, okay, I need to get out of this and I need to actually create a different life for myself?
Yeah. So, yeah, where do I start with that? So previous to that, I was just a failure. Like, do you know what I mean? I was just fucking, like, I failed school. So people earn like a 45 points by leaving cert. That's literally, you get that for just
showing up.
You get that for just writing your name on the paper. Like, that's below an F. Like, so I failed that. Obviously, college was off the table then. And I actually was, like, going back to the fulfill potential thing. I had the potential there. And I couldn't find anywhere to put it. So I used to go to like guidance counselors in school. So I sit there, he printed off every single career path in the whole country of Ireland. And I would sit there come home. Me and my mother used to sit there like highlighting an architect. Nah, maybe for a week then I'm like an architect.
Yeah.
And that might grow on me a little bit. Like when I go to sleep, I'm like, I'm never going to be an architect. Like, then a week later, I'm like, mechanic. Yeah, I like cars.
Money in that.
Yeah, I could be a mechanic. I just could never connect with something, and it's not. I wish I could. I wish I could have, because that was such a hard time during that.
You wanted something to connect it, but there was
I couldn't find anything.
Similar to myself as well. When I was in school, it was like, the way people always have that one subject that they're good at.
Yeah.
I just never had any subject. I was
yeah.
Fuck, like, but then I knew it was like I was going to the gym on my lunchtime to actually go to the gym.
Yeah.
And that just stuck with me all the way up. And I was like,
yeah,
okay, so there could be something in this. Like,
yeah.
It's hard to connect with that one thing as well, especially in the kind of the modern, not even modern, but just the school system and stuff like that. It's like if you're not connecting with it, and I was like, well, you're a failure. You're fucked.
Yeah. And I did feel like,
yeah, of course you would.
Yeah. So like but during like my leaving cert year, I think I was only in school like 21 days of the whole year or something like that. So like I was never really there, but like when I was driving to school in like nearly a brand new car, because I was working like 3 jobs. So like I kind of just gave myself that reassurance, like, yeah, I'll fucking work more than anybody. Like I was working on my uncle owns a construction company back home, so I was able to come to work at like 70 or 80 euro cash every single day. Finish there at 9 to 5, finish there at 5, go straight home, grab a fucking Big Mac meal on the way home. My favourite.
You love the Big Mac meals.
But grab Big Mac meal on the way home, straight into Apache Pizza where I was working, and I used to fucking stay there 6 to 12. I was doing that like 5 days a week. And then on Saturdays I worked for like a landscaper, just helping hand, like €12 an hour type thing. So I could make €800 a week, €900 a week. Yeah, when I was 17.
So you always had the work rate it was always there.
Yeah. And I think that's when I was failing school, I was kind of like, okay, I had to prove to myself that I have an absolutely sickening work rate, and I can just work around the clock if I need, when I need to. So I just developed that. So that when I was kind of going through that, obviously there was a couple of years where work rate was never a thing, but it was the passion. I could never put myself into anything. So finished that, jumped into electrician. And when I was working all those jobs, the teachers were kind of saying like, I go be in Apache Pizza forever, because when they were coming out of school going home, they'd see me, coming in there. They'd see me in there, be like, he was in school and today I know he's down there working. They just said to me next day like, look, Adam, you're actually very intelligent. Like, they'd be ringing my mother and everything, but my mother was crying. You have to go to school. So I was like, I'm going to figure this out. Anyway, the teachers would say like, are you going to do that forever? I'm like, I'm 17. Why the fuck would I do it forever when I'm 17 right now? I'm not going to do it when I'm fucking 30. Yeah. So anyway, I felt like very much of a failure for like the whole, when I was 17, 18, 19, just felt like a failure. So anyway, tried different jobs, ended up becoming an electrician for like the first year apprenticeship, and I was miserable completely, living in a hotel with 3 dudes I didn't know, was working 6 to 10 at night, horrific time. Then I went into different factories. I was bouncing around for like 3 or 4 years. So eventually I came to a place where I got fired from like the 5th time in like 2 years. Came home, I was like, I need to create my own job. And I wrote on YouTube how to create your own job. And Ty Lopez popped up. So Ty Lopez was like, I created my own job. I work on a laptop. He was like, oh, last week I was on a train traveling through Europe. I was in Switzerland and I got payment into my company. I was like, what is he talking about? Clicked into that, watched like an hour webinar and like, boom, like that. So I would say for years, something's going to come. So my mother was crying. I'd be like, it's okay, something's going to come. And
fate was nearly there.
Fate was there. And when I saw that message from Ty Lopez, I was like, this is that something. I've waited my whole life for this fucking thing.
So that was that specific point that you would say things flicked.
Yeah. That very second when Ty Lopez brought me through that webinar, at the end of it, I was like, this is the thing. This is the thing. So I got the money together, bought that, and just got to work from there. So there was a very, very tough few years. I think I was 20.
When you came across Ty Lopez?
Yeah, and I think it was literally a couple of weeks before. Yeah, so my birthday's in July. I think it was like April, just before I turned 21. So it was just before I turned 21. It's like 5.5, 6 years ago now. So yeah, jumped in with Ty and then just started getting to work from there. And it was obviously a very, very difficult time. I had to like completely rewire my brain basically for such a long time. And again, 9 feet, the whole thing I said about Bob Proctor. Just kept putting that forward.
Keep going, and then obviously you bumped into Bob Proctor along the way as well. Was it far after that?
Yeah. So I read while I was doing the course at night time, I was working.
So sorry, just out that course, was it a marketing course that you did do? It was a marketing.
Yeah. It's a 4-month course. I done a course twice in 2 months.
You done that course twice in 2 months? Okay.
I literally done the 4 months training twice in 2 months.
Okay.
So I was literally hammering it all the time. So while I was doing that, they were recommending different books here. And I was like, always on YouTube. I was like, who's this guy? Who's the Gary V's and Gary? I was discovering all these people. And then I was in work. I was working in GE Healthcare at the time. And someone, so I got like a 6-week contract or something. I was like, a 3-month like contract in GE Healthcare. Someone in there was like,
in terms of marketing, is that it?
No, just actual like production, product manufacturer job.
Okay, yeah.
So someone in there was like, recommended a book called The Secret.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, you should read this, man. It's phenomenal. And I was like, I never read a book before. So I went home, bought The Secret, and I found Bob inside The Secret.
Yeah.
He's one of the speakers in there. And then I was like, who is this guy? Went onto YouTube, found him, started watching his videos like crazy. Then I read Think and Grow Rich then from Bob's teachings and stuff like that. And just I'm in Bob's highest level of mentorship for the past like 3 years. So I just every morning you do it as well.
Yeah, you sorted me out with that.
Yeah.
Put me on to Bob, and it's like even just waking up, I think, and just listening to him and even reading the booklet.
Yeah.
It just completely sets you up for the day. It just completely like, even I notice if there's periods of time where I'm not reading that kind of content and I'm not drilling it into me.
Yeah.
You can kind of sway a little bit,
and
you're maybe not as kind of even productive or fulfilled or whatever it might be. But once you're on that, you're like you're pretty clear as to what you want to do.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've gone through periods of time where you haven't been as on it with that kind of content and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you kind of dip, but you notice a big difference. Like the content that you consume on a daily basis is fucking huge. Like it really, really kind of
like the first hour in the morning is so important. I think. And it's very, very hard to fucking wake up and do these tasks that you know you need to do without. Your mind just is it going to your phone, it's going to your laptop, it's going to your emails. So if you can do that if I do that Bob Proctor lesson focused in the morning, I'll be on it for the day.
Like think about that, even as we were saying about like the compound effect. It's like, okay, so you're waking up and you're either scrolling for half an hour on social media or you're getting up and you're listening to things that's actually going to benefit your life for that first half an hour. That can change the course. That's your morning. Your morning then leads into the days, the weeks, the months. So powerful. So it's just, I suppose a take-home point will be just to look at your kind of daily habits and just kind of start making sure that you implement. They might seem like small little things that might seem a little bit insignificant, but just do them and do them consistently. And you don't have to do like 110 different things. Just pick one thing that might, change the course and just stick to that for a period of time.
Yeah, exactly. Like just get on the right path. I like tested it for years. I always like reevaluate like what is because like people on YouTube are like wake up at 4 a.m, run a fucking marathon, swim 5 miles, meditate for an hour. Like you can just get way too
sucked into things.
You get way too caught up in it. So I have 1 hour. So I've 1 hour and 15 minutes. So when I wake up, brush my teeth, wash my face, get dressed, hydrate, have a coffee ready. I give myself around 55 minutes from that exactly, and that's my time for reading, studying. I do something mindfulness, whether it's just writing out a few things, and I just have that 55 minute
No distractions.
gap and like hour max, and I try to do what I need to do in there. So the Bob lessons they're about anywhere from 17 to 22 minutes. I do them on 1.6 speed, so it's about 12 to 14 minutes. And then I reevaluate the worksheets, make sure I'm aligned, and then pump up my daily tasks from there. And then sometimes I read 5 to 10 pages, and I read my goals like 5 times.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of
keep the goals straight.
Yeah. That's kind of my plan. Just make sure you have a target for the day. And then like it's very important. Like, and it's actually only something I got from the thing last week. And James Blackwell, who said it to me last week here on Rob's podcast, he was like, he calls it fire mode. And I was like, I fucking love that. So when he wakes up in the morning, he has that 2 or 3 hour window, fire mode. And that's the thing that moves everything. So the goal is here, the fire mode tasks are here, and these fire mode thing moves that one everyday moves that one step closer to the biggest goal. Rather than waking up in the morning and just, email, call.
Taking off shit that's not going to move you forward.
Yeah.
Just do the things that are going to move you up fire mode. I like that.
Yeah.
So just for anyone that doesn't know, Adam spoke at an event there last weekend, probably opposite event, the
hybrid entrepreneur.
So you found it very good, didn't you?
Fantastic. It was exactly what I needed.
Kick up there, that kick to take you to that next level.
That was perfect for me. It was the perfect timing. I got a lot of answers that I didn't even know I was going to get.
Yeah.
It was phenomenal. But it's just being around the energy as well. Like
people and
just being around the energy. It's something you just soak it up. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I'm here. Like, that's why I'm in Dubai. That's why I'm in Marbella, because I meet these people. That's why I go to London 3 or 4 times a year. I meet the people that I soak. Sometimes I don't even learn anything. I just soak up how they operate, how they behave, how they maneuver their day, how they kind of structure things, how calm are they, how composed. Like, I just soak it up from, you know what I mean? And then that really, sometimes I guess you might even answer a question, but it's just
that energy being around
success behavior. They just have that unconscious competency that's like, they're just successful, that they just have a success mechanism, and that I'm trying to get that to rub off on me as much as I can.
Yeah, I suppose the best way to do that is to be around those kind of people, isn't it? Putting yourself into those environments and stuff.
Exactly.
Well, I suppose was there anything in particular, like one thing that really stood out, or potentially was the fire thing? What was the one thing that kind of stuck out for you that you're going to take away and implement yourself?
I suppose a couple of main things. One was personal brand. That was massive. Like, I realized that everyone there had like a super strong personal brand.
In terms of like a social media following, or
social media, like they help people.
Yeah. Like,
the whole online, not coaching in regards to fitness, but the whole online course sales thing as a whole is very kind of like up and down. It has no barrier to entry. So like a lot of people, but a lot of people who are good, they have problem solving solutions for the marketplace. Do you know what I mean? And that's leverage. They can build leverage because they're so good at this thing that they just sell that value to everyone else. It's a super strong personal brand, leverage.
Solving a problem.
Yeah. That's it. Like having that problem solving solution for people. And thinking bigger. Like, people are always like, the people there were like, they're we're like, this is what we're building. This is our plan next year. And I'm like, fuck, that's big. And I'm like, I love that. Like, and that kind of rubs off me. Like, maybe I need to get my thing. Maybe I need to get my shit to the fucking next level. Maybe I need to go bigger. So yeah, mainly, I mean, it's leverage. It's like, it's very much high leverage things. Like, you can sell, highly profitable stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, you can help a lot more people if you have a better, if you sell a higher level product. You can invest more into a team, software, AI, marketing, your actual service, your product. You can invest into that rather than, if you're small, you can't help a lot of people. Do you know what I mean?
So it's just growing yourself essentially in that personal brand in business. Okay, cool. Yeah. And so, like, I suppose what for you, so from that event and stuff like that, is there anything in particular now that you're going to start doing yourself? Yeah. In terms of, like, I know you started up your Discord and stuff like that, which seems to be, doing really, really good. Yeah. But is there anything kind of outside of that now that you're thinking about implementing or doing, or is it just more of the same? No, it's not. It's more the same, but from a different avenue. So for right now, for me, it's
it's long term. I'm thinking from the event, I'm thinking much further down the line.
Rather
not
than
thinking
just-
12 months, I'm thinking 20 years now. And that's something I kind of did and didn't before. But right now I'm thinking a lot in the future. I'm like, okay, is this thing that I'm involved with right now, is that going to be the 20-year vision? And if it's not, I'm kind of not really putting my time into it. Same with my business, like, you know, my team now, like restructuring the team to say like, this is our roadmap for 20 years. Like, you know what I mean?
And have you done that? Like, that's all in place?
Yeah, in the do it now. Yeah, we have a different offer, like different service offer from July 1st that I completely developed from this event.
Yeah.
You know, we're creating different job from July 1st. We'll be hiring for a couple of different positions. I'm finding an admin. I'm going to be looking for a creative.
Put up
A creative. Here it is. It's on my Discord. I'm going to be looking for a creative, and I'm going to be looking for an PA, person assistant / admin executive role. I don't know. I have to map it out between now and the end of the month. I realise that I'm doing tasks I should be doing. You know, like. So
it's quite powerful that, like, from that one event, you're now pulling yourself out and completely restructuring what you're doing.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's important for people to actually, like, I suppose, like, for some people, it's, you know, you got invited to speak in an event. People are looking at that, well, like, I'm not going to get invited to speak to an event or anything. What would you say to those people, like, to actually just go to events, like to pay for events, to pay for mentorships, to pay for seminars,
go to the event,
invest your money into it? Like,
like we're in Rob's house right now.
Yeah,
like,
Rob lives it, just so people know.
Yeah, we're in Rob lives his house right now. 5 years ago, when I was on that failing route, Rob came to Cork to speak at an event in UCC. I never made it to college. I had to have like a 2-day plan to sneak past security, get myself a badge and sneak into the event to hear Rob speak, right? And at the end of the event, I was like, okay, I waited there for like 45 minutes until he finished answering, like shaking hands and getting photos of everybody. And I just walked up and I was like, Rob, we're going to work together.
What's happening, boy?
He was like, I was like, listen, no. I was like, we're going to work together someday. And he was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, you're going to see, you're like he's like, what are you doing in college? I'm like, I'm not in college. I just snuck in the back door.
It's just that belief in yourself.
Yeah, I came in the back door and I was like, I came to this event to ask you these list of questions. How can I get an answer for this? And he answered loads of questions for me on the spot. They were very helpful. So I just came to that event to speak to Rob.
You went to that event and took stuff from Rob, obviously, that you then implemented, whereas now it's just on a bigger scale with maybe business and stuff, but it's just like, just get to those positions, just to meet those people,
just get to the
network
event.
with people.
Yeah. When I came to that event, like, I didn't have any fucking money that I had to buy expensive tickets or anything like that. Like, I found it was there, I went to it, and I made it work. Like, you know, just get there. Like, just that I always say to people, that comes down to your levels of seriousness. Like, are you serious or are you not? And some people, you know, you can just see how serious they are. And like, if you're serious, you'll find the events. Like, you'll
find a way to make whatever it is.
You'll have an ear open when someone mentions an event, and you'll go to it.
Yeah.
If you have to catch a flight, if you have to drive for 5 hours, if you get a train, like, you'll get there. So you have just. I said to people, get serious. How serious are you? And they're like, yeah, I'm very serious. Okay, how many books did you read in the past 6 months? How many courses did you buy? What did you do? What did you do all weekend?
Where you invest your money?
Yeah, like, you know, I asked them a list of questions to audit their levels of seriousness. Like, you're not serious, man.
So you're playing around. You're wishing for one thing, but you're, even with Tony on just there, obviously, he was like, it's one thing, you know, wishing for one thing, but then actually doing another thing, and actually, like, or your values. Sorry, that was it. Your core values. It's like, so you're saying this is your values. You're saying this is what you want, but then your actions are completely on a different thing. So it's like, it's not going to work.
Exactly. You have to get that self-awareness of, like, understanding fucking what like, am I serious or not?
And I think a big thing with that as well is your, I know we've touched off it, but in terms of your environment and stuff like that, it's like, you actually might value this stuff, but it's your environment that you're kind of getting caught in that is leading you astray, which is very, very, that happens a lot. Like, it happened to me for a while as well. So it's then, again, that self-awareness to just kind of pull yourself out of that environment. And if you lose contact with people, but just know you're on a much better path this way, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. But your extra layer of seriousness will pull you out of it.
And that might take time. You might have it there, but it might take another little while to actually say, okay, now I'm fucking really serious about
Yeah,
this.
you're like, I'm cutting out.
When you're cutting it.
Yeah, and that, I had to do that. That was fucking so.
It's slow, like it doesn't happen straight off the bat, like, and you can still obviously, like, even with me, sessioning was a big thing. Like, I used to go out, I used to get fucking rolled off, and then I'd hate myself.
You still do that?
Once a year. No, yeah, I get rolled off, fair enough, when you go out. But when I go out, it was like, and then I'd be like, fuck that, and like, I'm not going boozing again. And then the next weekend might creep around, get excited, I go out, and like, okay, I'm going to go home early tonight.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen. You get sucked into a big night out. Yeah. And then it's like, that just kept happening until it was literally like, fuck this, I can't keep doing it. Like, so I just pulled myself out of it. But then, yeah, you do come back into it now and again.
Yeah,
as well, like,
but it's fine if you come back into it once again. If
yeah,
you planned and you've a day off.
Yeah,
scheduled.
And you've worked hard to enjoy that social event or whatever it might be. Like, for sure. Adam, powerful conversation. Adam Power. Where can people find you? Find you.
People can find me, I suppose, on Instagram, AdamPower96. There's 100 fake pages. AdamPower96. Flash.
He won't sell you crypto. He won't sell you any courses just yet.
There's no crypto. I don't have a penny of crypto. I've never spent a penny on Forex. I don't even know what Forex is. I've no drop shipping course. I've nothing like
people. I guarantee you now. When I launched this, people were like, "That's to scam me."
It's not me. My page is at AdamPower96. There's no. It's ADAMPOWER 96. There's no full stops. There's no dash. There's no X. There's no 996. It's just that.
Just to make that clear, because we've had some issues in the past with
yeah. And Twitter as well. I suppose I'm active on Twitter.
The Twitter and Twitter money. Money Twitter.
AdamPower21. And I'm starting YouTube very, very soon.
Sweet pleasure, my man.
That's the plan.
Thank you. My God.
Jimmy.